Well, how's it going, everybody? I just wanted to do a little video of me putting our Starlink Dishy up in this massive old growth cedar in our backyard. I had already done a video and posted it about what it took to get up this tree and to get off all the dead limbs so that I could get up there easily with the dish when it came in. So this video is just me kind of climbing up and mounting my homemade Starlink dish mount to the tree. It does a pretty good job. You can see I pull my tool bags and the dish and the mount up there with that string, and it worked out just fine. And luckily the tree has a little bit of lean to it, so I can actually pull all the stuff more or less straight up to where the top of the tree is. You can tell the snow had bent the top of the tree over at some point, and then it had healed like that. So instead of having to top the tree, I didn't really need to. It was already kind of set up, ready to go. Pulled that thing up there and break off my ratchet straps that I had tied to it. And I strapped this thing to the tree, and I made it to where it was adjustable so that I could get it perfectly vertical. So I'll throw this strap on, throw the other strap on, and then I put a magnetized level on it just to make sure. And it ended up being, I mean, just about as perfect as you can get. Before we had Starlink, we had some kind of internet through this local company called Beam. It was crappy. It was like $140 a month for maybe 1 megabit per second on a good day. It was horrible. So then we ended up going with small business internet through AT&T because my wife has a small business, and that was unlimited for $70 a month, but it had horrible service, horrible internet up here in the trees. We ended up having to get, I had 2 Yagi directional antennas, and then I had a panel Minmo antenna. Neither of them worked very well. If there was a bunch of snow in the trees in the winter, I would have to switch to the Minmo antenna, which wasn't very good. And then when the snow was gone, I'd switch back to the Yagis, which still wasn't very good. And we still only got about 1 megabit per second. But at least it was only $70 a month instead of $140. Okay. So then we finally got the okay to order our Starlink. We ordered that, and our house is basically surrounded by trees. And I could remove a bunch of trees, but my neighbors all have a bunch of trees, and I don't want to do that. We live up in the mountains because we love living in the mountains. We want to have trees around. So we mounted the Starlink on our roof for a little while, and it was like almost completely obstructed. We were getting maybe 15 megabits per second on a good day, but we would have outages every 45 seconds, and they would last maybe 5 to 15 seconds. So we still couldn't make phone calls, still couldn't FaceTime or anything like that. So it was a bit of a pain. And that's why I decided to put it up in this tree. I had thinking about putting it up in other trees, and then one day I was just out splitting wood while the wind was blowing, and man, all the other trees around were just whipping back and forth. And this one, because it's so thick the whole way up and has hardly any foliage on it. I mean, it's got branches obviously, but not too many really. Man, it didn't move. I mean, it maybe moves a foot at the top when this thing is getting blown around in the wind pretty good. So that's why I decided to put it up this one. I would like to put it on a tower eventually, but you know, that could be $3-4 grand, and this was basically free because I already have everything that I need to be able to climb this tree and get it ready and build my mount and put it up there. So I did. Since putting our dish up in this tree, I think we've only had maybe 10 outages that last more than 2 seconds, and they're all like 2 or 3 seconds.
All right, throw in a backpack. Where are you?
And that's within the last 48 hours. And it's been a red flag warning here in Northern California for the warm temperatures and the wind. So, I mean, if it can have basically no outages during red flag warning windy days, I'm pretty stoked. That's pretty awesome. I just used some duct tape to keep it tight to the pole. I could have used like zip ties or whatever, but can't go wrong with a little duct tape. Again, my mount was made by me, because I can do that. And I got that thing almost perfectly vertical. It doesn't look like it in the camera because the camera's diagonal, but ended up working really well. I ended up doing a what's that called? A weather thing in the cable right here. So it doesn't run down the wire too much. Now this is the 150-foot cable, and it basically barely makes it to our house. You can kind of see down there in the center right bottom of the frame, that's our pump house down there, I believe. And that's a little bit further than where our house is. Our house is directly to the right. And man, that cable just barely makes it. I'll have maybe a couple feet extra to get into the house. I'll probably take the cable and go diagonally to the house from maybe 40 or 50 feet up the tree. I'll have to. If I took it down to 20 feet and then over to the house, it wouldn't make it. So I've got to do a nice big long diagonal swoop to the house, which is fine.
Yeah, that looks good.
So not only are we not getting
right,
really any outages now, even in windy
the thing
days,
for the rope.
We're getting anywhere from 20 to 110 megabytes per second, whatever it's called. Our upload speeds are a little bit lower,
okay,
or in the 20s, but still way better. I've been seeing a lot of people complaining about their Starlink internet on Facebook and Reddit and stuff. And I can't help to think, but some of these people are just... maybe they're just not the most intelligent people in the world, and that's fine. Some people just simply don't understand this stuff very well. I get it.
Oh. We gotta take you down.
So after this trip up the tree, it'll be a lot easier to get up there. I'm going to leave a tagline that goes up to the top and then all the way back down to the ground.
Starlink
So instead of having a flip
Dishy
line
mount.
my way all the way to the top
So
every time
don't kill the
to
tree.
check and make sure everything is still in the right spot, I'll be able to just use my climb line and get up there real fast, and it's so much less work. So I hope you guys
Pretty good.
enjoyed watching me stick our Starlink Dishy in the tree.
Heck yes.
I'm super glad and I'm super thankful for it. I know my wife is super thankful for it. When I'm away at work for 2 days straight, at least she'll be able to call 911 if something happens. So
If I could,
thanks for
the
watching.
rope will reach.
Stay happy. Stay humble. Keep watching my videos. Appreciate it.